moving on, we are doing our first well, I guess it's not really our first viewer inspired segment because, well, pretty much everything has been viewer inspired because if it's not, we don't have any viewers. But we're
It's our
moving.
first recurring viewer inspired segment.
I don't know. But we are going into, for our first thing here, we are going to be doing some top fives. And for our first top five, we're doing top five best captains. Yay!
Also known as Don't Leave Home Without Us.
Indeed. I've even got a very sophisticated chart for Tucker, David, and I. We love Notepad. That is the key use of any Star Trek LCARS display ever.
Ooh.
And I don't really have anything fancy like a Vanna White to like flip our answers as we say them, but I'm sure we will get there with my magnificent typing skills.
I wish we had a Vanna White.
That'd be cool. So we are going to be starting at number 1 and going down to number 5 because we discussed this earlier, and to frankly be honest, all of our numbers 1 through 3 will probably be the same.
That is incorrect.
And that is incorrect, but they will be very similar. I am certain.
I'm really
and there will be no surprise to anybody, I'm sure. However, once you start getting the lower numbers, then we might start getting some more interesting things. So we're saving those for last. So, starting at number 1, let's see. Let's go with Tucker. Tucker, what was your number 1 while I try to actually figure out what order I was doing these in?
Okay.
I forgot to put numbers by them.
Let me talk a little bit about how I figured these out. There were a couple of metrics I used. I tried to figure out, number 1, how powerful are they in a vacuum? Number 2, how generally applicable they are to almost any build. Number 3, how powerful they are in specific combinations. So not just general applicability, but also their own power interacting with other things. And number 4, and this is a big one, their influence on the game thus far. In other words, I did give a slight edge to captains that we have seen historically a lot of, that a lot of people like, a lot of people play. So in that way, a lot of these are probably not going to be too surprising. Only one of them is really what I would call recent. I think with one exception, because I forget when he came out, I think every single one of these is Wave 4 or earlier. Well, 3 of them are earlier, Wave 4 or earlier. One of them might be Wave 4 or earlier, I forget when he came out, and then another one is recent. So here we go. But if we're talking about power in a vacuum, general applicability, applicability in specific builds or combos, and influence on the game, there is absolutely no question in my mind that the number 1 captain is Jean-Luc Picard 9. From day 1, he has been insanely powerful. He's been featured so many times that people have house rules specifically about him because he's getting played so much. It's hard for me to say that any captain is more just more number 1 than good old Baldy.
I almost had him completely typed out before you said his name. I was like, this one guy, inexplicably, completely, totally, yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I will jump in here, and I will actually say that Starter Picard is actually down at my number 4.
Wow.
I know, right? But he's definitely on the list, don't get me wrong. He's going to be JLP number 9. David, is he on your list too?
Yeah, he is also my number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah. So for me, it is versatility, use, and also because I fly a lot of Federation, so coming at things from a faction pure. But I tried to do this list without purity and say, hey, who would I want running any kind of ship? So trying to look at it from hey, maybe I'm flying 5 ships. What 5 captains would I take? Type thing. So I tried to look at it from a bunch of different ways.
And it's also worth mentioning, part of the reason I did is I did what David did, and I said, okay, I have points left. I have 7 points, whatever. I need a captain for this ship. Picard is the captain against all... In an infinite point scenario, Picard is the captain against which all other captains are measured.
That is a good point. He's got good cost, incredible ability, and top-notch captain skill.
Yeah.
And those are very great things. Obviously, my measuring metric is a little bit different. For me, when I'm looking at best captain, I'm not necessarily looking in the vacuum. I'm trying to look at the game as a whole. What kind of strategies does a particular captain unlock, and can it do any? And is it matched by anything else in the game, or does he have kind of a unique niche in what they do? And does that unique niche generally equivocate to your entire squad being more powerful?
I think I know where you're going with this.
With this, my number 1 is also a Wave 0 captain. And my one here is going to be Martok 8.
Ooh, that is not what I thought.
No, I thought that's where Will was going. But
Did Martok appear on your lists, guys?
Yes, Martok is number 5 on my list.
Ooh, number 5. David?
Martok 8 is my number 2.
Ha ha! We're just taking all your thunder now, aren't we? I'm sorry.
It's perfectly fine.
But yes, I know why I love Martok. Why do you love Martok, David?
I love Martok because he makes combos possible that wouldn't otherwise be possible.
Mm-hmm.
In like any kind of re-enable action combos, from a very simplistic combo, he makes torpedoes possible.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to re-enable a torpedo target lock or target lock battle stations. He makes something like a Drex and a target lock work, or Drex and cloak work. He, like, you name it, he lets you do 2 different actions. It's just, he unlocks so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, you have to fly close, but he just unlocks so many different options. It's a great card.
Oh yeah. One of the big things about the game is, of course, action economy. I like Jean-Luc Picard is great because he gives you some really great actions, but he's still going to be limited to those exact 4 actions. You could probably count it as a little bit extra because the scan enhancers each do different things. So your scan can count as maybe 2 or 3 different actions. But Martok just has no limit. Not only does he allow you to do crazy, crazy things with re-enabling shenanigans of upgrades, but I like him because he kind of enables every captain below him. Any captain that's lower than him that has a decent to good ability becomes more playable when Martok is around, because they're not sacrificing, their actions to an okay ability. They're still getting their normal actions plus their ability, which kind of pushes it up to good or excellent. What are some I should have probably thought of some decent ones before this, but let me try to think of something that's not there. One of my favorite underdogs, which is not going to appear on this list, is Gelnon.
Mm-hmm.
Gelnon is a skill 6 captain or a skill 5 captain or something that his action is roll 2 attack dice against a ship within range 1. You can deal damage to them, ignoring their agility, and if you roll any battle stations icons, you get battle stations tokens as well. Combine that with the fact that it's not an attack, so it doesn't break cloak, then I can do that action, and if I don't get a battle stations token, I can take a battle stations action if my ship allows it. All while staying cloaked, and that was a fun strategy that I had back in like the Minion War 6. for my third venue, for my tertiary venue, and it annoyed the crap out of people. It was hilarious. I loved it.
Mm. Yeah, Galnon's one I looked at, not for top 5 captain, but you may be seeing Galnon on another list.
Mm-hmm. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So let's see. That was my number 1. Let's go back to Tucker. Let's get your number 2.
Okay. So, one thing Will mentioned was he talked about the current state of the game, and I did do this a little bit as well, because this captain would be a different captain if we were prior to Wharf rulings.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is, this captain is better than his counterpart. This is a guy. Is he strong in a vacuum? Not really. Is he generally useful? He's got some okay uses. Is he? What was the last thing I said?
I don't remember, but it was something very scientific sounding.
Yeah, the point is, this is a guy who is here sheerly because of his combo potential. So my number 2 combo, or my number 2 captain, is SotF.
Got it. I guessed right.
Now, prior to Warp, this would have been Weiyun. But since they both can only work once per turn now, the ability to get somebody back that's been discarded, regardless of who it's by, on a previous round is amazing. Plus, he comes with his own crew slot and his own elite count slot. Permanent.
Yeah. And it can be any previous round. So if your combo fails for 1 turn, it's not the end of the game.
Exactly.
With no big surprise, he is also my number 2. Works very well with Martok, and does all sorts of good things all around. Not even getting into his crew capabilities yet. But David, is this on your list?
Oh yeah.
Number
3. Well, we knew this.
We knew
right?
this. We are strategians. We're strategists. We're strategicians. Yeah. We look for these combos, and SotF breaks the resource economy of the game, if not quite the action economy.
SotF is anti-action economy. The one downside is he does give you that auxiliary power token, which is more of a problem than you might think sometimes.
Well, you got to be careful about what ship you put him on. You got to put him on a ship with a good dial that has those green maneuvers that are going to let you undo the Ox power. And
in my mind, the thing that sealed the fate of Weiyun versus SotF was the diamond.
Green spin maneuvers.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get rid of power tokens. Failing that, there is the other nice combo I like to run with SotF if he's having trouble is the Independent Federation Fleet Captain, which grants an additional maneuver, alongside of Chekhov, who can remove power tokens by taking maneuvers.
Or the Dominion flagship will do the same thing, and you don't even need Chekhov.
True, but you still need a green maneuver.
Yeah, but those can grant green maneuvers.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully we're not ending up with those. Someone has been trying to say over in the forums that if you take 2 green maneuvers, you can still only take 1 energy token off. But we'll see if War squishes that flat. But yeah, SotF, all the combos. Of course, we all know Veril, who is an exceptional combo with this. He also works well with conditional surrender. He works well with, Croesus for stealing. Just magnificent all around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Knowing that, I think I will be guessing everyone else's 3rd and 4th with my number 3. Mm-hmm. And my number 3 is the one who SotF displaced, good old Weiyun. Okay. Weiyun 6.
You are incorrect.
No. Did Weiyun even score on your list, Tucker?
Weiyun is not on my list. SotF, at this time in the game, SotF does everything he does.
He has fallen that far from you. I still like Wei Yun because I can still pair him up with Varel and have Sopek with conditional surrender on the other ship, and neither of them is really hindered in any way. He also does some fun things if you want to combine him with just any other discards, which are interesting thing. The fact that he actually disables rather than granting a power token, though, can be used for certain shenanigans that actually came up in the North Carolina regional. And that is, you can discard something like Aaron Hansen to forcibly make your captain skill lower, so you move first. It's a very high level play that won't occur very much, but it is something that I like to have in my back pocket. What about you, David? Is Wei Yun on your list anywhere?
I put Wei Yun as a subset of Sopek.
Gotcha.
And I did the same thing with a couple of other captains being subsets of Picard.
That were really similar.
Like for me, Ducat.
Yeah, I kind of said, hey, these guys are similar, and I wanted to go with like distinct abilities. So it's almost more of captains who do similar things being listed as the idea.
Yeah, I mean, for Picard, you've got to put Ducat and Spock up there as well. I did try to stick to unique captains, but I really do feel, with my list especially, that Ducat doesn't crack the top 5 for me. Because a lot of what he does, or what Spock does, or what Wei Yun does, or all that, I do think they're weaker than other available options.
Gotcha. Which is a perfectly legitimate response, and that is why we went through 1 through 3 first, because most of them are very similar. And now I suspect the remaining 3, 4s, and 5s will be incredibly interesting, starting with Tucker's number 3.
Okay, so this is one. This is along the lines of others we've mentioned, but this one is up here. Influence on the history of the game was the 4th one. So Sopek scores strongly in that category well. This is one that scores well in 3 out of the 4 metrics, which is it's good in a vacuum, it's got great general applicability, it's had an intense influence on the game that caused people to hate it to death, but it doesn't really combo with anything. And that captain is the one dearest to my heart, Sphere 4270's tactical drone.
I was starting to wonder where you were going there. I was like, is it this guy? Is it this guy? I don't know. But yeah,
So,
tactical drone, the one with 4 skill.
So that's the reroll tactical drone.
the reroll your dice tactical drone. Very comparable to another captain who sees a lot of play, who is Worf. But the ability to reroll all your dice and not just blanks is really, really good.
Even if it is limited.
And frankly, he gets an edge because he goes on board ships for no faction penalty.
And can still power Borg things like assimilation tubules if you're using them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did not make my list. What were you saying, David?
He's not unique.
He is not unique, so you can have all of him you want on a ship. You can have him on all of the ships. You can have 12 spheres, all with tactical drone number 4 on them.
If you're, using that.
If you're using, 300,000 point rules or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he did not appear on my list. Did he appear on your list, David?
Not on my top 5.
Ooh. See, now we're getting into the uniqueness. I agree that he is very strong and has a lot of potential, but he did not quite make my top 5 cut.
Yeah, he's up there. Top
10 probably.
Top 10, top 15. Somewhere in there. Somewhere in like that 8 to 13 range, but
You're being very specific
not
here,
top
David.
5. I'm a math person, so
It's all about ranges.
Somewhere in there. He's a good captain, no doubt.
Indeed. And you can have all of him you want.
Mm-hmm. And he is a guy that has been seen in a lot of tournament lifts, and I hope I'm getting this right. Josef Vanderjagt in the chat, who I think actually is the one who suggested this list thing, posted his own list, and Tactical Drone is his number 5. So I feel somewhat.
Oh no, I looked at his list. I shouldn't have looked at his list.
Why?
Because there's something on there that I wanted to talk about later.
Oh, then we'll talk about it later.
That's cool.
All right. So so let's see. David's number 3 is
Sopek Wayun.
And mine is Tactical. So who's your number 3, Will?
My number 3 was Wayun. I put Sopek and Wayun in separate slots.
I'm sorry.
It's cool.
I got. Yeah. Okay, so 4.
4.
Hey, let's have David do number 4 so that we can't preempt him.
That's what I was thinking about.
Okay, I'm going to wager that my number 4 is not on anyone else's list.
Uh-oh.
I got a wild card for my 4 slot, so we'll see about that.
Uh-oh. And the reason he's up here is because the more that I see Borg, the more that his ability comes into play as being nasty against high hull.
Oh. No. High hull.
No, I think I know where he's going with this.
And that is the one and only Con 8.
Oh.
Oh.
That hit me right in the gut. I did not see that one coming.
Use your battle station tokens to convert use a battle station token to convert your battle station results into crits.
Mm-hmm. Man, he was fun back in Wave 0 if you could actually get him, if you actually spent enough work to get him working right.
Yeah. And now with so many options we have, being able to not pay faction penalties, in a 50-point environment, I think he's all the better.
Oh yeah, I actually like combining him with. I haven't done this since it came out, but after Fleet Captains came out, Martok with that could finally give Khan his extra action that he's been needing.
Yeah.
But he also gets good. He also gets good additional actions in the form of just like the high energy sensor sweep and stuff nowadays, or the flagships that give him free battle stations.
Yeah, Con 8 was one of my first loves. I mean, it is the thing about Con 8 is that it's really hard, to look at him and just not see the potential. I mean, converting all your battle stations to
crits,
is, I mean, that the power of that is obvious even to the new player.
Especially if you're really cruel and try to do something like I did, where I put Tactical Officer with him and I rerolled all my hits trying to get more battle stations.
That does not seem good.
Hey, I ended up with like 6 crits in 1 hit.
Well, and especially, you can combine him with Joachim and draw 2 cards and choose the crit you want to give him. I mean...
Forget that. Just take Attack Pattern Omega. You're going to get a crit.
Yeah. Give him more per breach. I mean, there's options out there.
I like giving him... Sorry.
But for me, he's a great card.
Mm-hmm. Take 4 crits here. What do we have a choice here? Here's an auxiliary power token. Here's another auxiliary power token. Here's double damage and double damage again.
Or here's double damage and, oh, by the way, you can't attack.
Ooh, that's always a good one to run into.
Yeah.
Injured Captain's really nice. Oh man, just go. I wish it was draw 3 like the Star Wars one, but that'd probably be way too powerful.
It would be.
All right. So then let us go back to Tucker for his wild card number 4 slot.
All right. So I mentioned that all my selections were like wave 4 before, except for 2. One of them was Sopek. I forget what wave he was in, but it was like 4 or 5 or 6 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vulcans were like 6, I think.
Yeah, so this is my only recent guy. This is a guy who has taken the world. Everybody saw him and they were like, "Oh my god!" And I am cheating a little by putting him on this particular list, but his combo potential and impact on the game has been instant. He's pretty good in a vacuum, but he does require some building around. And for the points, you cannot get more firepower. So for my number 4, I picked Captain Admiral Mirror Worf.
Captain Admiral Worf.
Yes. Because here's the thing.
Even not as an admiral,
Uh-huh.
he's still darn good.
Well, yeah, but here's why I like him as a captain specifically. The thing about so obviously the power here, he's like a 2-skill captain or something. Like the power here is clearly from his action.
2 points, 3 skill.
Okay, and he does he or does he not come with an ET? I forget.
I know his admiral side does. I'm not sure if his captain side does.
Yeah.
It should.
It really doesn't matter. The thing is, this action is so incredibly powerful, especially in the era. He does, by the way, come with an ET. Especially in the era of fighters, that it's impossible to ignore. And here's the thing about it. People get all excited about it as a fleet action. It doesn't need to be a fleet action. Generally, only one ship is going to be doing this. And for 2 points, 3 on anything that's not Mirror Universe, an extra attack from fighters every round is just nuts.
Not to mention that this extra attack happens in the action phase and not the combat phase, so tokens don't apply, including cloak tokens.
And his skill is so low that you might even be able to hit the opponent, but if you destroy their ship, they're not even going to get their action for the turn. They're not going to be able to set up their own combo.
I was going to say, if you destroy their ship, they're dead.
Right, but I mean, also think of it, for example, what's one thing that's been thrown around a lot is the combination of one with Sopek or Wayun.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
This will hit their shields before one goes off.
Ha ha ha.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I do like that a lot.
he is not as generally good as Picard, Sopek, or the tactical drone, so I can't really rate him higher. But this guy, and because everybody thinks of him as a 5-point admiral, he's a 3-point captain. And then he just slides into so many more things if viewed in that light.
Oh, yeah, I've been tempted to run him as a captain too, so I do not blame you for that one at all, sir.
Okay, what about you, Will?
My number 4 was Jean-Luc Picard. Moving on to my number 5, though, it's just me and David left.
Well, before we do that, let me talk a little bit, because I didn't do this at the time. Let me talk about why I put Martok 8 as number 5.
Go for it.
So everything you said about Martok 8, enabling combos, that stuff, is correct. The problem is, he's incredibly influential. He was used in a number of regionals builds, but the problem is, in my mind, his stock has been hurt a lot by Admiral, Board Queen, and Squad Leader, because they do a lot of what he does without taking up the captain slot. Now, is he, in general, a cheaper option than both of them? Yeah. And if you don't really care about your captain slot, he's still good. But considering that most people are going to be running fighters anyway, it's hard for me to say Martok is quite as good as he used to be.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Yeah, Admiral Board Queen would have rated pretty highly for me on this as well. Not quite as good in her captain form, though, because she requires another vessel to use it on herself as an admiral, but she requires another vessel with something that she can use it on. Other than that, and really, I like to stack all my good stuff on one ship rather than on separate ships.
Sure, sure.
Or I could put
mean,
her with, or I've been, of course, been able to put her with Martok.
right. And here's what I'm saying. This isn't like I am not by any means saying that what was I going to say? That I mean obviously Borg Queen Admiral doesn't appear. I mean Captain Borg Queen doesn't appear on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Neither does at the squad leader. I thought about putting him up here as a joke, but it's not actually a captain, so I decided not to. And that's why Martok is still on the list. He's still better than many, many, many things in this game. It's just I feel that, you know, there are other things that are in a vacuum are slightly better.
Right.
Okay.
And we said at the start we have some slightly different measuring metrics.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, for me, my number 5. I don't know how recent you could say he is, but he is kind of recent. All of my other captains on this list have to do a lot with actions. Martok granting additional actions, Jean-Luc Picard taking additional actions, Sopik and Wayun using their actions to break the game in fun and amusing ways. This guy requires no actions whatsoever to do what he does really well. Not quite as effectively as all the other guys, but if you end up in a situation where, like, let's say you have 17 power tokens stacked on you, he is still using his abilities every turn, and those abilities are pretty darn good. And for this one, my choice is Jean-Luc Picard, Captain Ahab version.
Ah, yes.
Good old Ahab Picard.
That,
the line must be drawn here, no further.
Is that your number 5, David?
No, that was my number 6. That was my just missed captain.
Yeah, okay.
I love him. Number 1, he gets an additional slot, which can be a lot of different things, including an extra talent, which is really cool, or that extra crew if you just need to fit someone on there that bad for some kind of Phlox Doctor shenanigans if you're going for it.
Mm-hmm.
He gets 1 less attack die, but a +1 crit against any race of his choice, which is very useful. Much better than just, a free, not quite as good as a blank to a hit, but better than like a free hit in place of a die. It's a little bit of a weird math, but a guaranteed crit is always nice. And he gets, +1 evade, which, I don't really see that as a powerful thing in itself, but it definitely does not hurt at all. And not on top of that, he's still an 8 skill. He costs 1 less point than his other counterpart. And like I was saying before, you cannot hurt him by trying to take away his actions.
That's true. The reason he didn't make my list is there are a couple of reasons. Number 1, the evade die is a May, so you only get it once. Number 2, I would like it better if he added an extra crit instead of replacing a die, as you mentioned. But number 3, and this is the major thing, you can't run him and Picard 9 in the same fleet.
That is the unfortunate part about it, and that makes me sad. And why he's just barely below his starter counterpart. Poor Picard. I'd want to run all 3 of you if I could. I'm sure I could find some use for Stargazer Picard. He was close as for just shenanigans. He might appear on another list.
He's a guy. He's a captain that I look at. I'm like, I want this to be good, but I'm not sure how yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping my eye on him though.
Oh yeah. The other thing is Ahab Picard let me do really fun shenanigans by taking an additional talent, an admiral for an additional talent, and put 3 copies of I Stab at Thee on him.
Oh, for crying out loud.
And it works because he just wants to go in guns blazing. He doesn't care if he dies.
And Tasha Yar?
Ooh, maybe. I hadn't added her yet.
Are you going to do it with ramming attack?
Maybe. I don't know. That
All
seems
right.
like maybe one few too many points for an instant for an instant kill on your first turn.
All right, so David, what's your number 5?
Oh, before we go, Joseph, was it?
Joseph, yeah.
Thanks for joining us in the chat. This will, of course, be up on YouTube later, so you can check out the the remaining, well, maybe 10 minutes that we still have, 5 or 10 minutes. And of
Yeah.
course, we'll be on our iTunes stuff later. So, okay, got the plug-in out of the way. David, you're the last one. Make wow us. Are you gonna wow
Well,
us?
Maybe.
for
I have a soft spot in my heart for this captain. This captain who's not actually a captain in the show.
Uh-oh.
A non-captain captain.
He's a captain in the game, but he never achieved the rank of captain in the show. Either show.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I have a guess. Probably wrong though.
No. Well, what's your guess?
I don't want to because I want you to keep leading into it for a little while. But I'll type it. I will type it up here just to see if I get it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's probably the one card I've complained the most about, that he is in his faction, but he's not in the faction that he should be in.
Oh. No, that guy's a captain.
Yep. Yeah, Will's right. It
Dang it.
is Klingon Worf.
Oh, God. Okay, yes.
Yay! I'm a quiz master.
Yes.
Literally,
So,
the only ship he's ever shown captaining, to my recollection, is the Defiant.
Yep, and he is not the proper faction for that.
yeah.
No, didn't he?
So
did he-
Officer Exchange Program fixes
No,
that
he
to
didn't.
my heart's content. But yes, I love re-rolling blanks. I love the combo with Drexer, Ingaren, or even Alexander. That whole synergy works.
Father-son team.
Yeah. In anything there works. Worf is just being able to re-roll blanks, or throwing Worf on a Federation ship and taking battle stations as your action. It's that whole synergy of having a free action. He is essentially a free target lock, and if you've taken battle stations, that's all you need anyways.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that both my ex-girlfriend and I did for collective OP2 was we ran a fleet that was Katinga flagship D7, because the D7 does have battle stations, and we put Worf on that one, and he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I remember running Worf with Barrage of Fire in early Dominion War days. I think Dominion 3 or 4. And it's just like, yeah, I roll 9 dice with Drex. Roll. No, 3 or 4 blanks. Okay, I re-roll them. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
battle stations.
I
Oh,
have
look, now you're still dead.
I have 7 hits, crits, and battle stations. I use Drex to convert them to hits. Okay. Well, I've got like 3 crits and 4 hits.
Yeah.
Oh, you have 4 hull and 3 shields. I guess you're dead.
Oops, one shot.
Yeah.
In a world without Borg, and maybe without fighters, it is really hard to compete against what the Klingons can field.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my one sadness about Worf was that back in those days that you were mentioning, my favorite toy to play around with was Tribbles, and Worf could never use Tribble effectively.
Yeah. That's the one bad thing.
Tell me, Will, do they still sing songs for the great Tribble hunt?
Nice.
I've been working on my Odo.
All right, guys. So that has been our top 5. I'm sure there's been honorable mentions and stuff, but this section actually took a little bit longer than I thought it would, and actually that's pretty cool. We will definitely probably be doing this again. We will definitely be doing this again. I'm the show's host. I can say it. We're doing this again.
Yeah, it was
of
fun.
course, with other things. In the meantime, let's see. So my top 5: Martok 8, Sopek, Wayun 6, Jean-Luc Picard starter, and I lost a finger. Jean-Luc Picard Ahab. Tucker's top 5. Jean-Luc Picard starter, Sopek, tactical drone with the rerolls, Captain Admiral Worf, and Martok. And David, we had, of course, a full showing for Jean-Luc Picard starter, another full set for Martok, it's a little bit lower average. Sopek, Wayun, man, we love Sopek. Khan 8 as a little bit of a dark horse, and Worf because, well, you always have to have Worf in there somewhere. Real Worf, not fakey mirror, giant, long, flowing hair Worf. Oh wait, he always has kind of long, flowing hair, doesn't he? You just never see it.
Yeah. I think he takes it down a couple times when he's on a Klingon ship.
He takes it down a couple times around, well, Jadzia, but we don't need to go into that too much. Good old Klingon mating rituals. But yeah, I think we can wrap up. We're going to wrap that up there. So we have just another minute or two to go over news of the day. Any news that you guys know of while I'm shutting this down?
I'm going to check the Worf ruling, see if there was anything. We already mentioned the Garib one, right?
Yeah, Garib, his face downs count for uniqueness and for faction penalty.
Okay. So here are a couple of newsworthy things. In terms of rulings, first of all, this is one that I never really thought about, but I think they actually got it right. So Kirk, when you add additional talents to him with flagships or fleet captains or whatever, they cost 3 points. They go face down.
Mm-hmm.
If you add fleet captains through him through Riker or Garrick or admirals, those don't. Those cost their full cost and are face up because they're not attached to Kirk. They're attached to Garrick or Riker or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Whereas there's the thing that Garrick actually says it attaches to him, but I'm pretty sure like the admirals say your captain may take an additional talent, which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Ask about it. But here's the other major thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A question was asked about the ISS Defiant, which has the ability, each time you suffer damage from an attack, you may place an auxiliary power token beside your ship to reduce the amount of damage from that attack by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked, since this does not mention the combat phase, does this ability work against cloaked mines? And Worf said, yes. Any ability that does not mention only working during the combat phase would work against attacks that take place outside of the combat phase.
Meaning that they're saying that cloaked mines are now attacking damage, not obstacle damage.
Maybe. I've asked to follow up. We'll have to see how it turns out. Keep your eyes peeled, folks.
Because it was ruled. I don't think it was ruled by Worf, but it was ruled before that the regular USS Defiant couldn't use its crit to hit conversion against cloaked mines because they weren't attacking it.
Yeah. Well, at least, we don't live in an era of unlimited attack negation. So
We didn't live in an era of unlimited attack negation before, technically. It was just a lot of attack negation.
a lot of. So it's not like you can roll in there and say, oh, I don't ever take damage from cloaked mines. It's inconsistent ruling. What it means is that you can use Varel or something, or conditional surrender to cancel out Admiral Worf or something like that in the action phase rather than in the attack phase if you want.
Well, that's what the I guess that's kind of one side of that. The other side of that is you can use conditional surrender against cloaked mines. I surrender to you.
Which makes no sense to me because they're an inanimate object. So now you can use truce, I think.
If you use Corbomite maneuver, they can't hit you either. because you cannot attack or be attacked. There's some interesting things here that I'm sure we will find strange new ways that old cards will interact with this ruling.
Yeah, but again, it may just be that they change it. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's see. We started getting Wave 12 previews, so next week we might be lucky enough to have another one. I haven't heard of any delays for Wave 12 yet.
Yeah, we know it's early March.
And usually, if there's no delays, they actually put out, you know, the one preview a week up until release. Hopefully, we will also be getting more news on WizKids Nationals that's being held up in Maryland.
Yep.
I think it is. Hopefully, we'll be getting that soon. I received an email about that being one of the regional winners and all. But they said they hope to have more information by the end of last week. And I haven't seen any releases on it on any of their sites. A lot of their announcements seem to like appear in very strange locations, like their their HeroClix retailer pages or something like that, and people find them.
Yeah, it's, by the way, also about this, the hosting store for the Nationals is going to be games and stuff in Glen Burnie. That was one of my FLGSs when I was in college. I went to college in Maryland. It's a great store.
Friendly local gaming stores for the win.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have the opportunity to go out there, when you're out there, if you're going, and you please like do yourself a favor and check out this store. It's great. It's got a great selection. It's got an amazing play space upstairs. I went to the Avison Restored pre-release there. It was really great. I had some great memories. Still a little bitter about some of the things that happened, but that had to do with price. That had to do with what I pulled for my prize packs as compared to what somebody else pulled. So,
Hey, Tucker. Hey, Tucker.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Tucker.
Yeah.
You know your icon?
Yes.
Look at my store. My store is amazing.
It is pretty amazing, though.
Don't lick it, though. I'm sure it doesn't taste like raisins.
I would not. It's very clean, but it's still a game store. I would not lick it.
So let's see. That's all I can think of. David, anything else from you?
No, still theory crafting my custom mission for RIF 1, because anything I come up with is bound to be better than, hey, look, let's fight on a 2x2 map.
Yeah, there is that. I have an RIF 3 coming up finally. Got pushed back a little bit, but it's finally going. One very tiny slight alteration, and I think it changes the entire scenario. If anyone makes it back to the Alpha Quadrant, victor is determined by fleet points.
Oh.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only change.
Good
So
luck
does the
getting
match
it.
end immediately when somebody gets back?
Nope.
No?
So if they leave the thing open, then someone else could try to follow them through it. Or if they shut down the thing and close it, then whoever's left in there has to survive if there's anything left of their side on there.
Okay.
At which point you could, of course, have only one player's ships in the combat zone, and the other player's ships are out of the combat zone, and they have no way to interact with each other, in which case the game is essentially over anyway.
Right.
But yes, it will at least make it so that it is not a completely foolhardy errand to return to the Alpha Quadrant. You could actually get points off of it.
Yeah.
If you escape with a 50-point ship and destroy the conduit, you will win.
If you survive.
If you survive, mortal. But yeah, simple enough thing. We'll see how it goes. I've got 6 people at least signed up for this, for our final shebang over there. So it should be cool. I don't know if any of the stores around me though are continuing into the episodic events though. Attendance has been really low, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, they should, because some of the episodic events might be fun. I hear we're getting a Balance of Terror event way down the line. I'm actually excited for that. That's probably my favorite original series episode.
Yeah, in theory, that
Yeah.
should be, let's see, if the next event is supposed to be March, April, May, that should be around June.
No, because it's March, April are the one-offs, and then
Yep.
Q Continuum is
Oh, I
three
thought we were
months.
having more episodics before the Q Continuum.
Oh, so it'll be in August. Hey, August is my mom's birthday. That might be fun.
Get your mom to play Attack Wing? What?
Have you not seen the mom? I have played Attack Wing with my mom. She can't handle upgrades. Like, she can barely handle actions, but she's one of the best natural pilots I've ever seen. She outmaneuvered me.
That's pretty cool.
No, she did I was playing a Warbird against her Constitution class. I did a come about to try and go past her and get an arc, and she did a perfectly timed 2 backwards. I ended up directly in front
of her, facing the wrong direction.
Wrong way, yeah.
Nice.
I was
Very
really
much
proud. 'Cause my mom.
You're a good tactician, Mother. I know where I got it from now.
Yeah. Well, she is a cooler Trekkie than I will ever be. She was at the first ever Star Trek convention.
Nice. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for today's episode then. And here, Tucker, we thought we might actually be light on content. We're still 25 minutes over.
Yeah, no, it's this list thing, man. I'm telling you, it's a good segment.
That's cool.
Thanks for the idea, Yosef.
Yes, thank you, Yosef. So that was going to do it for us for today. We will be back again next week with another State of the Federation, hopefully with a new preview, scenario thing, and another top 5 list for your enjoyment and perusal. But until then, since we are over, I'm just going to cut us out with, may Q be generous with your dice. Good night, everybody.
State of the Federation is a production of Will S. in association with Tucker C. and David M. We are not associated or affiliated with WizKids Games, and except where specified, WizKids did not endorse or approve any of our podcasts. All copyrights are copyright of their respective rights holders.